So how you basically start with is basically you start with creating a new application. When you get the access to the playground, you will already have your own application. But here, this is how you can create a new application, like new sample application. You give the application name and description. You can upload your own logo, or you can choose something from the picker. And then when you click create, new sample application is created, and you get access to fully blank page, fully blank application. And then if you are admin, you will see this enable layout edit mode. And if I do that, let me just keep the tour. If I do that, I will be able to add a new page. So from here, basically, I can create a new page. I won't do that from this screen. Let me go back to this already configured application, because here we already have something that we can, something more specifically that we can look at. So if I enable layout edit mode here, I can add child page to this one, or I can edit this page. So if I go edit page, I can do some kind of like passing the parameters, changing the icon and stuff like that. But let me show you piece of application settings. So basically, here are some general settings of application, which I already mentioned, and there is a connection, and this connection is created. As I already said, you can go to create connection, define the connection name. You can specify the mFiles vault ID, which is not going to pass here as it's not valid ID, but you will get access to your own connection to the mFiles. And you will get access to adapter and licenses. Now, taking a look at the datasets, here we can see all the datasets that we fetched from the mFiles. Basically, you can see the name of the dataset, when it's created, when it's last modified. You can see where it actually used across the pages and other datasets. You can see if this dataset can support or does it support files or not, and you can see total number of the objects in the dataset. As already mentioned, the whole maintenance and the logs and how you trace and monitor what's happening in Auclio is developed in a way that you can easily monitor everything. So if you have like these, let's say, I don't know, vendors or something like purchase requests, if you go to the manage objects, all the objects will be listed here. So you can see them from the administration point of view, not as end users at some page. If I go, for example, to view refresh history, you will see exactly what was happening with this data set. Now, we can maybe create a new local data set. Let me create something like, let's create a new data set. I'm going to create this. If I select this as an external connection, I would be able to select an mFiles. When I select the mFiles, I would be able to map all the properties from the mFiles. For this purpose, just to make it more simple, I will just create a new data set, which would be called project. And then I can define properties. I already said all the different data types are supported, so I can have something like project name. You can have as complex as you want, so your data set can have as many properties as you need. Let's go with something like project name and project ID, which is very very simple case. You can specify if it's required, read-only, or unique. Let's define that all are required, and ID should be unique. Then I can also say if the dataset projects would have files or not. I can say that, okay, I will allow one file for each project, and then I can specify or I can limit which file types are supported here. And finally, once this dataset is created, I can manually add objects here. For example, if you're creating some value lists, you can easily define value lists here. So now I created one dataset. Maybe I also want to create a new workflow, so I can say like project workflow and create a new one. I'm not going to design all the solution. Let's leave it just like that. But maybe we can check one purchase order, for example. And this is workflow from the mFiles. As you can see, this is just a preview of the workflow, and this workflow is read-only here in the Auclio. Okay, so I have created one one data set. Let's add new page. So I'm going to add a new page, project page. And then what I can do is something like, I'm not sure what should represent project, but something like that. Okay. And I'm just going to create this page here in the UI. This project page is now here. And what I can do is here I can add a new widget. So if I go to the add new widget, I can add, I can add text, table, text grid, form, button, card, and charts are coming soon. So if I click table, I can select like list of projects. And here I can select, I would say, everything that you would want from the tables, like if it's going to have a sidebar or not, if it's going to have a group bar or not. If you want to have the AI assistant, so we have an AI assistant that allows you to do the sorting, filtering, and basically you can set different configurations of the table using the AI assistant, not from the admin perspective, but from the end user perspective. So you can say, give me all the projects that started in the previous year. It will be applied as a filter if there is a start date as a property in the data model. So here I can select if I want to allow users to add new objects through the table. If I say yes, I can choose if I want to have this as a model pop-up, like I show you, or it will be added as a new row in a table. Some settings about column sizing, display options, etc. I'm not really going to into all the details. And now I'm going to basically, as I can select this use external connection. So I can select external connection and get all the data sets from the external connection, or I can select local ones. So let's select the project. Here is the piece that I mentioned. You can add different joins. So you can join different data sets into one. I'm not going to do that. And then I can do automap dataset. So automap dataset will basically get all the properties from the dataset and put it into the table. I may want to get rid of the workflow and the state, reorder this in any way I want. Let's leave it like that. Maybe I can also show you that project name, for example, can be defined as a link, and then link can point to another page. So if I have, for example, project details page, I would be able to link it here. I'm not going to overcomplicate this demonstration. Tables can also have different filters, so you don't have to filter the data set when you're getting it from the mfiles, but you can also filter it on specific table. For each column, you specify how you want this column to behave. And finally, you define file management. So if your data set allows files and projects allow files, you can select if you want to have side panel, if you want to have upload, delete, download, preview, or you would like to have a file column here. Let's say I want to have file column and leave it like preview or whatever, upload. And then here I can define some labels. So I'm just trying to simplify that as much as possible. So now in the UI, I have one table. So, okay. And now maybe I want to add a button, which would be like create new project. And then this button will be like create. Okay, like this. And this button should go to page. And now I'm just going to link it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to link it with the new supplier. It really doesn't matter. I can show you how it actually works from the new supplier page. But if I add a new button here, button will be added. So, and I can select the position of this button. So this gives me an option to like do it, resize it in a way that I want. And I can also adjust it, as I said, on a mobile or on tablet, desktop, large or extra large screens. I can choose how this application is going to be displayed. Okay. Now I have this button, and if I click create new page, it will take me to a new supplier. So this is what I configured. Maybe I can, if I just show you this supplier database here, if I go to the layout edit mode, I can show you how to edit a widget. And here you can see that if I go to edit widget, I should be able to see column, which is a link. vendor is a link. And if I open the details, basically the logic is that you have column which is clickable in a form of a link. It links to the supplier page, and there are some parameters that you can pass to the next page. And that is the logic. You select something in the table, you pass the parameters or details of that to another page. And then on another page, you use this parameter to show only the documents of this supplier, only information of supplier, etc. Okay. If I click here on details, I can have something like that display here, and that is the idea. Basically, you define the data set, you add the widgets, you play around with the layout, you drag and drop different elements, and you define how users actually interact with your application. Maybe just to show you one more thing, if I go to this project page, for all of those widgets that we have created, there are different set of actions you can specify. So if I select a card will have different pieces of configuration because card shows some static information in the UI. Maybe if I go here, like here, you can see that this text is defined here. Maybe it should be like this, or this should be like that. It doesn't matter. If I go to the edit widget, I can change how this card is actually displayed here. The idea is also what we have added as a support, that once you define the widget, you can have linked widgets. So you can configure the table of projects with certain behavior and certain rules on one page, and then you can have it linked and displayed in many different pages. And then when you change the configuration of one on a table on one page, it will automatically reflect on all the other pages. You can also move widgets, copy widgets, so all the actions that you would expect if you want to customize the UI.